93, everybody. I was just sitting here working on another video altogether, actually, when it kind of occurred to me that it might be an interesting idea to talk about this. It's kind of one of the first things I've talked to different people about this subject, about the subject of ceremonial magic a few times recently, and it's kind of the first thing that I make a point of saying. There's a notion that you should only use ceremonial magic, particularly goetic evocations and formal evocations, when there's some kind of crisis situation or something's really like your back's against the wall and you have no other choice. This is really dumb. I don't really think that you have to use too much imagination to figure out that you don't want to be dealing with especially demonic entities and goetic spirits when you're in a crisis situation. If you know anything about the way these entities work, they kind of like work through, fear and anxieties and disturbances of the mind and stuff like that. So when you are afraid and anxious and your mind is disturbed, you probably don't want to be talking to demons. It's actually the last time that you want to be talking to an entity like that is when your back is to the wall, because you're vulnerable. They know you're vulnerable, and they will take advantage of your vulnerability. They do not do this by trying to scare you and intimidate you. They do this by pretending they're your buddy and making themselves seem harmless. To my mind, ceremonial magic should be used to build toward a positive goal, not just to fix the things that are wrong in your life. If you need a new job, or you're not making enough money, or you can't get the girlfriend you want, you shouldn't have to turn to the occult to manage to get those things. Normal, healthy people can get those things without supernatural entities intervening on their behalf. I've worked with goetic entities regularly for over 10 years. I've done literally hundreds of goetic evocations, and I will say that once you start to dip your toe in and get a little ways into working with these creatures, then you start to have all kinds of crises, and you start to see all kinds of things look like they're falling apart around you. Actually, what this is doing is creating the necessary space for what you're trying to bring in to your life to have the space to come into your life, for it to come in and grow there. And if every time it looks like you lost something, you dash back into the temple and try to replace it or try to fill that space again, then you're not letting the forces that you've kind of called up and set to work organically develop themselves in your life. Once you have formal ceremonial magic as part of your toolbox, it's tempting to just whip it out every time something looks like it's going wrong. But a lot of the times when something looks like it's going wrong, it's actually the universe trying to give you what you want, and you just gotta sit back, relax, and let it happen. And if it is a real crisis that a normal person would deal with by mundane means, then you should probably deal with it by mundane means too. If you want to win the heart of that special someone, take my word for it. Getting that person to have sex with you or be in a relationship with you by supernatural means is dramatically unsatisfying. Maybe I just have self-esteem or whatever, but when I'm fucking someone and I get the feeling that unless I had made a pact with a demon that this would not actually be happening, my boner goes away. You might think it will be different for you, but it probably won't. And if it isn't, and if you are okay with that, you're probably just really gross inside. Where your soul is, or whatever. The bottom line is, magic isn't something to solve your problems. Magic is something to build with. It's a creative thing. That's the whole, it's intrinsically linked to our essential creative essence. So the idea of just using it to address problems, or only going to it when your back's to the wall, that's just low. That's completely ass backwards. You could disagree with me, but you're wrong if you do. So, feel free to be wrong if it suits you.